Guys, I guess it's time to get on with the assembly here. Again, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you like the content. Let's get on with it. Just a little recap here of what we've done. Again, we had a little issue with the gasket here, but nothing we couldn't live with. We just opened up the holes a little bit. We want to verify that we have all our gears, and let's see, I'll just turn the clutch side here and we'll go through them all. Let me back up here. Okay, that should be our low, and this is with the plunger out. I'm not real sure whether that's high or low. Now I keep going and I get to this point where the little bearing is right here. And if you look in this hole back here also, you'll notice that the hole is there for the detent. This is the detent. It's got the spring-loaded pin in it. So that is lined up, and this would be lined up with the neutral safety switch in the other case. Okay, so if we're turning this and we go back one gear, that should be low, and that should be neutral. There's second, third, and fourth. And then if you push the pin in, it drops it into the other one. So that should be, I believe that's probably low range. And then we're still in fourth gear. It's third, second, neutral, and low. So I'll just return it up here to the neutral position. None of these are turning, so that's our neutral. And the crank's still good to go. We'll cut this out after we get everything put together. But pretty much the next thing we need to do here is prepare the other side case. And on this one, we just need to prep it with a little oil. There's everything on the inside. And number one, I was telling you there was another seal that you couldn't get from Suzuki, and I believe it was the counter shaft right here. So that one I also had to source off of eBay, and it was a little more than what I wanted to give, but you got to have it. So we'll get everything lubed up. And again, be sure to get oil on your crankshaft seal. We don't want to ruin it on our first startup. And we'll turn it over to the back side. And we'll give it a little oil in the bearings. Doesn't need a lot, just get some in them. All right, let's kind of got to watch how I get you situated here. I noticed that when I was putting up the other video that I kind of cut off some of the washer stuff. I think there's enough to see what's going on though. And let's get a little oil on the seal area here. Should probably be okay on these. But we'll put some on them anyway. A little extra oil ain't gonna hurt anything. And our kickstarter over here. The kickstarter is over here where it's sticking in. This is the drive for the oil pump too. All right, we're at the point where the case goes on. Make sure you get your 2 alignment pins. You may have to kind of hold things up here. Get my plastic hammer. And we'll just tap on it a little bit. And looks like it's just about all sealed up. Yep, looks good. Kind of give you a look at it here. Get everything lubed up good. Everything should just fall right into place. Then we grab our screws. And remember there was the 3 that had the washers on them right here, and I marked those with a little peen, but all you've got to do, let me get a light here. What you've got to do is look in there and see where the threads are for the puller, right there, and right there. So those are the ones that get the washers. I think they put them on just so that you wouldn't damage the top of the case there when you tighten them up. So those are the 3 with the washers. And let's see here, we got 2 long, and all the rest of them are the same length. So the 2 long ones, I think one of them is going to be right there, and the other one's right there. And then we've got that one, that one, that one, that one. That one. Oops. Nope, that must be a long one there. There. Well, must have another long one. Right, another one there. I wonder what I did with the other long screw. That one goes there. I know I had a couple I had to replate. I think that's one of them. I probably got it in the wrong place here. Yeah, let me see if I can find that. Alright, I found my other screw. And I just pulled all these out. I like to put a little bit of oil on them. You know, just so they don't have the tendency to gald on me. And the next guy that's got to go in there won't have as hard a time getting them loose. kind of slowly take them up here, kind of a crisscross pattern, so we evenly seat that case. All right, everything's seated. And before I go too far here, I want to make sure I get that O-ring in here. That will keep it from seeping around the spacer from the bearing side. Really small. Once you get it up out of those sprocket threads, yeah, then it just goes right up there. Then all you got to do is just put a little oil on the spacer. And push it in there. Just kind of turn it so you the seal's not wanting to take it quite. There it goes. All right. So all that's in. Let's just get I'm going to get you out of the way here a little bit while I seat these with the impact driver. Kind of a crisscross, just like when we were putting them in. All right, so there's that. Let me get her turned around. Just look here that everything is Still free to turn. Let me get her turned around. And I want to make sure I get my nut back on over here. So when I straighten it up and turn it the other way, it doesn't fall out of there, because that's the only thing that holds it in. Now, a couple things I want to show you now is number one, right in there, there's where your detent is. It's not quite lined up. Let me get her lined up right there. So there you can see the detent in there. And if you look in this hole, you can see the little bearing sticking up the top. So that's where your neutral safety switch is going to go in. Of course, here's your tachometer drive. We put it in with the dog point screw. This hole is where the oil line goes in for the oil injection. So let's pop it up here. See, right about now I'd have dumped it off of the stand if I hadn't remembered to put that on. Now, as of the other day when I did the video, we want to make sure that we get these tightened up now. And the next thing is to get our bearing retainer over here. Let's see, how's this thing go? I think it's like that. Nope. That's more likely it there. You've got two countersunk screws. They go here and here, and the rest of them are standard 6mm screws. Oh, not too coordinated here today. Never really. These had some probably Loctite on them. Just the best way that I've found to kind of keep stuff in order is keep it all together in assemblies. You know, like this plate was, I just had all the screws for it laying with it. And the same for the case screws, except the one that I apparently misplaced. And again, we'll pop those in real quick. And then we've got another retainer, and I believe it goes just like that. This is for the shifter arm. It's the return. I'm not going to tighten that up completely until I make sure which way it's going to go here. Okay, run into another little issue. I was getting ready to stick this in, and I thought that when I removed it, it was kind of hard. There was a lot of rust here, and that's what I thought the issue was, so I cleaned that up. Well, that's not the issue. It's bent quite a bit. Let me get you over here to the lathe, and I can kind of show you what I'm dealing with. If I chuck this up out where the shift lever goes, let's see here, and turn that. Not too good, is it? So we've got to straighten that before we can get it back in there. So let me think about it a minute and see what I'm going to do, and then I'll bring you back. All right, let's just take a look here and see how bad it is. Like about 160,000. So that's not even quite here at the end. So we've got to move it somehow. Okay, here's what we did. We figured that the bend was more right at the case where it comes out at the seal. That's where it's the worst of it is. And we had 160 thousandths to start. And I've so far got it down to about 12, 11. And what I did was I chucked it up right here. This is where it comes out of the engine, right at the seal. And what I did was I just gently took some slack out of it here. It's springy, so you've got to go a little bit past where you want to go and then let it come back. So I think I'm going to stop right there. As long as it'll go through the case and not look too bad at the shifter, I think it'll be okay. But that's where we're at right now. So I moved it actually about 150 thousandths. Let's see here. That's the low spot. Yeah, I guess it wasn't quite as good. Let me give it another little tweak here. Yeah, that's where we're at, about 11. Take it over and see if it'll go through the case, and if it will, I think it's good enough. Oh yeah, it's right in there. So we're good. All right, well, on with it here. All right, now let's see if we can get it. I had to take that spring deal out up here. It goes in after all this. But what you need to do is you need to make sure your spring is oriented around both of these, because it's going to go between this bolt here. Now this just drops right in there. Now it's got it straightened up. But there's a very slight chance to get this thing in there. You've got to kind of push, and there, see, it goes underneath in the inside of that drum, where kind of where this thing is. So that's where it should be. And let's see. Then we're going to go back to this outfit. Make sure your washer's on the back. And it's going to go right there. That's how that works. Let's see if we can get our spring back on it. Oops. Let's see what works best here. Hook it in and then pull it. There we go. Get something to tighten that with. Okay. And let's see, got this little guy here. And got our removable pin. It's got to go in. And the top. Make sure it goes over the pin there. Once that thing, we've got a snap ring. See if we can avoid chasing it today. There we go. Alright, so there's our shifter mechanism. It's all in. We've tightened everything. So let's see what we can do here. Alright, I think my difficulties is this. It should be in like this. And then we get our spring back in there. And see if we can get this wrapped around now. There it is. If I put it in right, it'll work. And then that gives us the spring load that we need. I'm probably going to have to loosen that up. Okay, that all looks right. Okay, let's get our key in here. And our gear on. Just wanting to kind of walk up here, so tap him back down. There. And you get your little tang here on the washer. That needs to go into the key slot there. Need to hold on to the rod. Should be good. Get it bent over like that, and then you can just squeeze it on down with a pair of channel locks. Just like that. Alright, I think I'm going to call it quits right now, and we'll start with the clutch and everything tomorrow. Thanks for watching.